So you were in the service.
I am. I actually still am.
So for how long? Like so after high school, or like when did you decide to go into the service?
I joined actually after college. I enlisted when I was 23, 22, I don't know. One of those years. I've been in for 20 and a half years. So right after college, December, right after I graduated that June from college, I ended up joining. I enlisted and then...
What'd you go to college for?
Oh, political science. And with a minor in leadership studies, and that wasn't a thing back in the day. It was something new.
Huh.
Who'd have thought?
Who'd have thought? So you're like, what kind of job do I get from this?
That was a really great question, and I had no idea. My first job when I came out of college was in the financial industry. I worked at a brokerage firm, and then I worked back office, brokerage, mutual funds, that type of thing.
But very businessy.
Yes,
right? Like
very businessy, numbers, things that I wasn't really good at, but for some reason they hired me. It helped my mom work there, and I interned there for a little while. I had a summer job.
All right, but I bet that experience helps now that you are a business owner.
It does. I appreciate numbers. I appreciate the financials. I appreciate that I don't know those things, so I hire somebody to help explain them to me to make sure I'm doing the right thing.
I just hung out with one of those on my podcast the other day.
Oh, very cool.
That will either be out before this or after this one. But yeah, and she was surprised how much I knew about running a restaurant. And I'm like, well, I just worked in them forever. Is nobody does their cost analysis really. Or if they do it, they half-ass it, and they don't really know what their food cost is. They don't really know what their employees' cost is. And so they call her to be like, hey, can you help us figure this out?
I'm slowly starting to figure out that cost analysis. The previous owners had a great operational package here. That's why I was able to take it over. I can run operations big and small. I've run everything from a small military squad all the way up to I was a manager for the TSA for 3 years at a international airport. So operations are easy for me. So they had checklists and inventories, and I said, okay, I get this. It was learning the restaurant part, the service industry part, the customer service part.
The friendly face part.
That is different than working when you're in the government. When everyone hates the government. So.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be happy when you're at work. It's kind of
no one's happy in an airport.
Not in an airport, but in a restaurant. It's kind of a requirement that you smile a little.
But I like that cost analysis and learning, and there's programs and tools out there where you can figure out how much does this cost me to make the sandwich and all that. I'm building that. That's one of the things that I was not already in place when I took over. So figuring that out.
But once it's done, it's super easy.
Right. It does it for you. I just have to get there.
It's just equations, right? It's just equations. You punch into an app. It's an app.
One of my purveyors is through their system. And I can build my recipes and figure out, when eggs prices go up and down like they've been. That's something that I never thought I'd care about.
Oh, that's a great little tool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I like it.
So do most purveyors do that? Or
No.
Is it Cisco?
No, it actually, I don't, it's US Foods that has that program. And it was another restaurant owner on Broughton Street, a friend of mine, the owner of Common, that told me about it. And he sat me down and he showed it to me and he showed me how he does his and how his chef does this. And I was like, wow, okay, this is it's not only interesting, but it breaks it down for me. I don't have to figure it out on my own. I thought I had to go buy a program, but it's part, US Foods does it for those who are part of their.
So it's even in your ordering. So does it connect even to your POS system?
Not this one. I think if it had Toast or something, it does.
It does.
We are such a small operation. I don't think I need that. Yeah. It's just a matter of, because my inventory is always moving. It's because we're so tiny. I mean, I have less than 900 usable square feet. And
if it rains, even less.
Oh, gosh. No, that doesn't include the outside.
Oh, that doesn't include the outside? Oh, you got so much more space.
But just no space for storage.
No space for storage.
At all.
Well, that's good because that means everything's fresh.
And it is. We turn it over pretty quickly, so I don't have to worry about things getting lost in the back of a walk-in cooler because I don't have one. Yeah. I have a big cooler.
Or freezing to death in one then either.
We're getting locked in it because, that would be bad.
I think there's fail-safes for that now.
I would hope so.
See, most people, if you did work in the service industry, at, some fast-paced restaurant, the walk-in is the sanctuary. That's where people go to hide, to take a breath, to cry, to to do all of those things that you can't like let the public see, or even in the summertime, just standing back there, just like cooling off for like as
Right.
long as you can possibly stand.
Because it's hot in the kitchen.
You had a choice between a cigarette break or standing in the walk-in, and you're like, walk in.